Hi guys, yeah, well, welcome back to the next part in this video series with the great man Dr. Glidden. So we talked about in the previous video an introduction to the great man and some of his ideas. We're going to move that on a little bit further this time to say about the idea of, I think we touched on synergy and essentially this idea of the 90 essential nutrients coming together, this sort of why use all the 90 essential nutrients. So hopefully you can enlighten us a little bit more on that subject, please.
Yeah, so this is an important concept for people to understand because in the wonderful world of medical nutrition, there are basically two camps. There are people who practice fractionated nutrition, which is where you use, for instance, large doses of vitamin C, right? Like Linus Pauling, intravenous doses of, grams and grams of vitamin C, or large doses of vitamin D, like David, right? And there's people like myself who practice holistic medicine who do holistic medical nutrition. And the holistic medical nutrition is better than fractionated nutrition, and here's why. Research has shown that there are 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs in order to be healthy and optimize its structure and function and work the way that nature and God intended it. 90 essential nutrients. Now, a nutrient is termed essential if the body needs it but cannot make it. So there are 60 minerals, calcium and magnesium and sulfur and zinc and selenium and a boatload of minerals most people haven't even heard of. 60 of them, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 fatty acids, omega-3 and omega-6, essential fatty acids. These are things that the body needs. Different parts of the body need this in order to work. And ironically, tragically, regretfully, these nutrients are not in the food. Some of them are, or we'd be dead, but most of them are not. And as time goes by, the lack of essential nutrients or the amount of essential nutrients in the food has been getting less and less and less and less. And by the way, this was reported by the United States Department of Agriculture to the Congress in the United States in the 1930s. It hasn't gotten any better because farmers aren't paid to nutrify the soil. So we're in a world of hurt here because as time has gone by and there are less and less essential nutrients in the food, guess what there's more and more of? Chronic disease. There's a direct relationship between the two, a direct relationship between nutrient deficiencies and chronic disease. And so, in order to make your body healthy, to give it a fighting chance, for goodness sakes, you have to give it everything that it needs, not just a boatload of one or two or three or four of them. And when you do it this way, right, generically, right, this is medical nutrition for the masses, by the way, you see remarkable results. And most of the time, when adults especially understand this and start to apply it and actually get the 90 essential nutrients into their body, their switches start turning on that have been turned off their whole life. People don't know what they're missing. They don't know what they're missing. So you nutrify your body, things brighten up, right? Your mood gets better, your energy gets better, your sex drive gets better, your sleep gets better, your aches and pains get better. It's like a tune-up for your automobile. And honest to God, it's the best kept secret in medical nutrition.
Yeah, and just touching on that, but I mean, part of the reason is that they're over. I mean, you were saying that it's not there in the food, but just to take it slightly further, though, it's simply because they're overworking the soils that we're in. We're obviously using the same amount of land to feed a lot more people now on the planet. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's NPK farming. Is it nitrogen, potassium, and these two or three nutrients great for the plant. It looks bushy and healthy, but it's not enough for us, is it? We need a much wider spectrum. Is that right?
Yeah, it's 100% spot on. And the thing about it is that most people don't understand. I didn't even understand this until I met Dr. Wallach. Was that minerals, right? They're 66%, 2/3 of the essential nutrient share in your body. That's a big deal. It's the majority of nutrients that your body needs are minerals, not vitamins, not amino acids, not fatty acids, but minerals. And here's the rub. The only person that can make minerals is God. Or, if you don't believe in God, nature, right? So the only way that minerals get into the food is if they're in the soil. And they're not in the soil. Some of them are. And farmers put NPK in it. That's 3. Well, you're 57 short. But, this row of broccoli might have 10 minerals in it. The next row might have 6. The next row might have 15. It varies. Field to
Mm.
field, row to row, and it's a problem. And so because of this, because of the need for minerals and the absence of minerals in the soil is one of the biggest unrecognized stressors of the human body and one of the biggest reasons that people's health fail as they get older. It's not because you're getting older. It's not because you have a bad gene. It's not because of chemtrails, which are a real thing, by the way. It's not because of cell phone radiation. It's because your body is weak. It's being less and less mineralized in this case. I mean, imagine what would happen if your car, and I don't know quarts and liters, but in the US, most cars need 6 quarts of oil. So imagine if you're driving down the road and you've only got 1 quart of oil in the car. What's going to happen? Well, the engine's going to seize. Anything wrong with the engine? No, not really. The metal's good. The pistons are good. The spark plugs are good. The welds are good. You ran out of oil. Oil was the problem. It was essential. It's the
Yeah.
same with these minerals. When your body runs out of them, things start to break, and that's a big bad voodoo daddy.
Yeah, but they're essentially, I mean, they are in layman's terms, they're raw materials, aren't they, for the body to fix itself with?
Yeah,
You
that's why
know,
they're called essential, because the body uses them to work. For instance, in order to have healthy blood pressure, you need enough calcium and magnesium. If you don't have enough calcium and magnesium, you're going to get high blood pressure.
mm,
Not because you have a bad gene or because you have a voodoo curse, but because you ran out of the raw materials that the body needed to maintain healthy blood pressure. It's not rocket science here, but the problem is that conventional medical doctors have no training, no experience, quite frankly, no respect or appreciation for medical nutrition. They look at it as an afterthought, secondary or tertiary intervention, certainly not primary, and they missed the boat completely. This is why when we apply this strategy, this holistic medical nutrition, by giving people all 90 essential nutrients, by the way, in doses which are appropriate for their body weight, right?
hmm
That's why we get such remarkable results. And it's not magic, it's just unrecognized science.
Yeah, but like you say, one thing I think I've heard you say before, which is very true. Look, no one's saying that we don't need MDs, but it's the right time, isn't it? If you've just been run over in the road, you don't need a chiropractor, you don't need nutrition, you need to be on the operating table, and that is where they're at their absolute best, isn't it? But when it comes to chronic degenerative diseases, not so good, right? That's where you need to be looking more down, the lines of what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah, 100%. And this is the problem that we're up against in the 21st century, because we haven't had a free medical market in UK or the United States for over 100 years. For over 100 years, the MDs in the pharmaceutical industry have monopolized all things having to do with medicine. And that's where the term alternative came from, right? I don't practice alternative medicine. Saying that what I do is alternative is like saying, well, the only real dog is a German Shepherd and every other dog is an alternative dog. It's nonsense. But that's what we've been socialized to believe because of the monopolization of the medical marketplace. And,
Mm,
we need the right dog for the hunt.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
when it comes to trauma and surgery when it's necessary, the MDs are the right dog for the hunt. When it comes to the treatment of chronic disease, they're the wrong dog for the hunt. And that's the wheelhouse of my profession.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, we're going to leave it there for this part. It was very enlightening, as always. Again, we will touch on, the product, the company we're going to be talking about getting the products from. You can see the links down below if you're interested in getting the products directly here in the UK or in Europe. You can get them dispatched from there quickly and efficiently and nice and easily. Listen, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that and look forward to seeing you on the next video.